Welcome to another episode of Off the Line, your positive source of insights, opinions, and relevant information. Again, this is Nori Uy together with
Rhyan Casiño
and Elle Quan.
And again, would like to welcome to this episode today. Exciting po ang ating guest sapagkat he is a tremendous kind of person. Hindi ko alam kung paanong introduction ang gagawin dyan. But before that, we are still in we're still in celebration with or for the National Indigenous Peoples Month. Ito po ay buwan ng Oktubre of course sa buong Pilipinas po yan. At tayo po ay nakikigalak at nakikisaya sa lahat po ng ating mga tribal communities or ang tinatawag nga po natin ng mga indigenous people. And of course, through this program, atin po ding sinasabi na meron po tayong next year magsa-start yung pong ating pangalawang Salidayeg online or Christian online short film contest at maya-maya po lamang ay mapapanood niyo po ang teaser po nitong mga ito. Ma'am El, meron ko bang masasabi sa ating last episode tungkol dito sa Indigenous People Celebration natin?
Yeah. And I think
Ram.
among the three of us, ako yung pinaka least na exposed in indigenous people.
Wala din naman akong exposure dyan.
Yung mga natututunan ko, sobrang eye-opener sila na there's so much more to learn from the indigenous people and these people who are serving them. Like si Ram, yung ating first winner ng Salidayeg that we featured in our previous episode, ginawa niya ring, it's a very good support or stepping stone para makarating siya sa Cannes Film Festival, sa Sinulay. And this is a message that he's bringing, that our indigenous people are facing certain challenges, but at the same time, they manage to keep their culture and their community intact.
Miss Elle face challenges and they celebrate victories also that sometimes we don't even know. So kumukha nga ni Ram, di ba? Nasa Cannes yung film niya. Itong guest natin ngayon ay nasa Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Yung film nito nasa Toronto.
From last guest natin kay Ram, di ba? And now we have another, this time, he's a writer. He's a writer, di ba? And actually, I'd like to introduce yung guest natin, si Pastor Pio Arce. He is presently the president of Kalayag Child Care and Youth Community Center. It's a non-profit NGO. And he's also a writer of the film Oligacy, which is, sabi na nga ni Nori, is now in various different film festivals all over the world, di ba? Oo, and also he is a photographer, community development organizer, di ba? So hindi na natin patatagalin.
Oo, excited tayo. At saka nagkamali ako pala, Kuya Ryan. Sabi ko, Toronto, nasa Orlando, Florida pala yung
Orlando, yes.
Film Fest na yan.
And I've heard right now he's in Europe, He's in Europe na sa mga various film festival doon. So anyway.
Exciting to.
Exciting to. Pastor Pio Arce.
Let's welcome on the program, Sir Pastor Pio Arce. Magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Welcome po.
Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay.
We're so
Sir
excited
Pio,
to have you, Sir Pio.
Yeah, Sir Pio, this is gonna be a very interesting story. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things to talk about this film, your ministry, your advocacy. But let's get into the discussion about Oligacy kasi talaga naman left and right ang nito ang nominations po nito at talagang tumatatak sa puso ng bawat nakakakita or nakakapanood kahit teaser pa lamang. So talk us through Oligacy, Sir Pio. What was the inspiration that prompted you? Bakit po ninyo naisulat itong Oligacy?
Well, the inspiration is out of my burden. Actually, it's a burden about addressing poverty issues among our indigenous people, particularly that time in mga Matigsalog. And when that time in 1986, when I first came to Mindanao, nakita ko yung how ignorance, sorry for they don't really like that word sa mga tribo, but yung the lack of knowledge, how it destroys yung mga tao, kasi sabi ng Bible na the lack of knowledge, people perish because of the lack of knowledge. And because of that, kaya dahil nga na sa walang alam, marami silang kinakatakutan. Yung lalo sa mga the spirit world, lalo na yung for instance, that time nung nakita ko, maraming bata ang namamatay that time na kahit simple na na hygiene lang, no? Kasi remember when I brought mga medical teams noon, parang bata ang dinala sa clinic na ang daming sugat sa ulo, no? Dahil napabayaan ng nanay. Only to find out, pag nanganak pala ang tao ron, hindi bata, pinapanganak ang bata, hindi nilinisan yung ulo, yung dugo ba? Kasi they fear that when you touch it, tinatouch mo yun, magagalit yung mga spirito. So they wait till yung pulmon bago linisin yung ulo ng bata. What happens? Bugs get in there, infection sets in, so you have that. And kids died, no? Kasi marami na kinakatakutan yung mga spirito. One of the spirits na kinakatakutan na si Oligase, no? It's a demon spirit that eats school children, no? So no wonder hindi pinag-aaral yung mga bata kasi for centuries they fear these spirits, no, na pag pumasok ka sa eskwelahan, kakainin ka ng Oligase. No, in fact yung mga bata tinatatuan nila. Just imagine a 10-year-old girl tatatuan sa tiyan, no? Just because takot sila na kainin ng Oligase yung anak nila. And just imagine the pain that the child would go through dahil sa takot ng mga parents. No? So, yun ang takot nila na hindi makain ng Oligase yung anak nila. So, kaya hindi pinag-aral. So, if you have illiteracy, then you have poverty. No? It's the two sides of the coin. So, I began to do a research ng kanilang paniniwala na yun. Then I found that later, it's really more of a, it's an allegory in a sense, na isang tawag nila, sambingay ba, parable that was passed on from generation to generation. Actually, it's an Oligase is a system ba. They look at education as something that kills their culture. No? Tingin nila ang edukasyon actually destroys their way of life. Kasi nakita nila, pag ang bata nag-aral, sinasagot na yung mga magulang.
No? Kasi natututo eh.
Natuto na. Mas hindi na bumabalik sa kanilang lugar. No? Hindi na nag-uuma. No? In a closely knitted society, like for example, lalaki, it's very important. Pag umalis yun, nag-aral, hindi na babalik sa kanila. Kasi mas madali mag-call center kaysa kaysa magsaka. No? In a sense, tingin nila na it's not really, education is not really helpful sa aming context. No? Actually, detrimental sa aming way of life. So,
kaya tinatakot nila yung bata.
O kaya tinakot na yung mga bata na kakainin kayo ng Oligase.
Pastor Pio, you are in the tribe since 1986. That's quite some time already. Grabe. What led you pala to go to the tribes?
Actually, that time I was actually it's really Panginoon talaga minsan kasi as a young Christian, yun talaga ang aking pangarap. No? I was praying na somehow God would lead me to work among indigenous people. Nasa heart ko yan, mga tribal people. That time I was just siguro medyo niromanticize ko yun, no? Kasi ang isang libro na naka-influence sa akin yung Through the Gates of Splendor, siguro ako nabasa niyo yung mga American missionaries who worked in South Africa. Then after art school, I went to an isang art school sa PWU sa Manila. I took a fine arts. And I applied to isang mission yung Open Doors. I was hired as graphic designer. Then worked my way to become a photojournalist. No? And then through the years, I've been sent sa mga different tribes sa Southeast Asia. China, I went to China, taking pictures for the mission. Sa mga sa Burma, then sa Thailand, I went around Thailand just taking pictures. No? Then that time kasi with this mission, we're using yung mga tribal people to really deliver Bibles into these restricted countries of the world. And I saw their potential, no? How they could penetrate yung mga remote areas, no? In fact, later in the years of being involved sa mga indigenous missions, merong in the prophetic word nagsabi, the key to the revival of nations is in the hands of the people indigenous peoples of the world, no?
Yeah.
Because they are the ones who does not separate the natural from the spiritual, no? Hindi dichotomize yung kanilang worldview na everything to them is spiritual. So nakita ko yan, no? In both aspect, whether sabi nga, what is true in the natural is also true in the spiritual. No? So going back to Mindanao, 1986, no, nung I was there, the first time na nagkaroon ako ng break na as a photojournalist, na nag-volunteer ako pumunta sa mga Matigsalog, hearing their story to isang pastors na who was living there. I tracked him down. So I was sa mga Matigsalog, no. Back then ang aking is just to take good stories and good pictures, no.
Matigsalog
mabaho lang talaga.
Matigsalog sa Bukidnon.
Matigsalog sa Central Mindanao ito, Central Mindanao. And we trekked for many days, ilang days then, just visiting this area. Then while taking pictures, nangusap sa akin ng Panginoon, sabi, don't just take their pictures, help them, no. So the next time I came with mga medical teams na, no? So that was the story. Then cut the long story short, nakita ko talaga ang burden. No 1994, I moved my family to Mindanao. You know?
Wow.
So,
Now,
Mindanao.
that time I was just decided to take good pictures and good stories. Now I'm part of the story and part of the picture.
Yes.
Wow.
From originally,
Dito na ako.
trabaho lang
Dito na
ang
po
pinunta
ang
ninyo
buhok ko,
doon. Ano?
no?
Alam mo, Ryan and Elle, no, just dugtungan ko lang yung sinagot ni Sir Pio. Actually, Open Doors, we were able to guest Open Doors last year's Off the Line. Si BJ Candole ang leader ngayon doon sa Open Doors. They have a really interesting really interesting vantage point when it comes to Christianity worldwide. Tama yung sabi ni Pastor Pio So, yun lang, naidugtong ko lang kasi naalala ko yung Open Doors, very antatapang din
Actually, smuggled 1
Antatapang
million Bibles to China
Oo.
from the Philippines. This is Project Pearl, 1982, I think. Yeah.
80s pa yan.
Mm.
Pero
Oh,
Pastor
we
Pio, you've been around the world and in the Philippines lang, meron din mga tribal communities, not only in Mindanao. Is there a particular reason? Did you choose Mindanao specifically?
Well, I think it's really the Lord. No, we have mga 160 at least ng mga people's groups sa Philippines. No? And I've traveled sa Northern Luzon, and some parts of the mga Visayas, mga Ati. Actually, yung Ata sa Mindanao, at Ati sa Visayas, then you have Ita sa Luzon. No? But these are yung mga pigmeya nating araw. Ito yung mga indigenous peoples of the land. No? But anyway, that time, ang napunta ako sa Mindanao, meron din first time, merong prophetic word that was said that if the mountains will fall, the cities will fall. No? So that time, ang sabi ko nga what is true in the natural is true in the spiritual. So, ibig sabihin, the flooding in the cities, for instance, is caused by a denuded mountain forest. So, ang na-interview ako isang military, sabi niya man ang strategy ng mga communists. Sabi niya that time kasi Mindanao was at the verge of collapse sa communist rebellion. But Davao is naging killing fields too in those years. No? So sabi niya, yung strategy ng communists is to surround the cities by controlling the mountain areas. And who they are controlling? Yung mga indigenous people. They capitalize on the poverty and ignorance of the people. No? Sabihin na, ba't kayo naghihirap dito? Samantalang yung syudad, atin man dati yan. Pag nanalo tayo, babalik namin sa inyo yan. Then, spiritually, ganun din. Yung mga spirits na wina-worship sa mga mountain areas, we're finding out na ito talaga yung mga spirits that are actually attacking the cities. No? In fact, I wrote the first book before Oligacy, ito ang sinulat ko. Pangayaw, The Right to Kill.
Pangayaw. Parang maganda rin gawing pelikula yan
ito yung pelikula. It's actually,
nagawa na.
And naka-line up na to. Yung, I don't know, baka pag-usapan natin kasi yung 7H.
Kami na lang ang gagawa.
Gusto nilang mga taga-Mindanao ang gumawa nito. We talk about this kasi maraming beses na whole name project.
Ryan, tayo na gumawa niyan.
Yes.
Pero maganda
Sama niyo
ito.
po ako. Sama ako.
Hindi dahil sinulat ko ito, no? Pero it's really good in a sense kasi it's yung The Right to Kill. It's really an allegory about yung
actually, nung nakita ko po yung title kahapon, Pastor Pio, nung pinakita ni Ryan yung title ng books, Sabi ko parang maganda itong right to kill. Parang action yung dating eh.
Oo nga. Actually, kinuha si Buboy, sino yung Buboy na artista?
Cesar Montano.
Actually, gumawa na siya ng kanyang sariling version ba? Trailer niya. Kaya lang, buti na pinapirma ako nung si Asia. Ano ang tawag dito ni Cesar?
Pagka-action star ni Sir Nori.
Nako.
Anyway.
Sir Pio, sorry to cut you off. Kasi talaga namang ang ganda ng kwentuhan natin. Dapat pang 1 oras ka eh.
Oo nga, dami kong tanong.
Anyways, just to extract more information from you. Kasi so ngayon, you've been in Mindanao since the 1980s. And obviously, all your works is, Mindanao-based na, no? And I'm assuming yung Kalayag Foundation or non-profit organization mo is also based there. Please share with us, how do you, lahat naman to dugtong-dugtong eh, kabit-kabit eh. How do you make sure, Pastor Pio, that your ministry, your advocacy sa tribal groups, sa tribal communities is sustainable over the years and in the years to come?
Actually, Kalayag is 10 years old na ngayon. So far, so good. No? God is faithful to provide that. There are many ways na nag-provide ang Panginoon to sustain us. But really, the goal of, I think we can measure our success is yung we're really focused on education, really. No? Kasi yun talaga ang problem. No? We've done many community development works with the previous missions I've worked with, pero education talaga is really the key. So, ang aming is properly trained, given the tools, the education, the discipline, yung mga locals mismo themselves are the most effective to address the impoverished condition of their communities. No? And ngayon, marami na kaming gini-scholar ng mga bata, no? Mga pastors. Ngayon, we have somebody here na tapos na community development, nag-lawyer na siya. No? Yung mga staff namin sa community development, we have many teachers now. Si Joy, one of the main actress dun sa Oligase, graduating na siya sa education. No? So itong aming Kalayag is really focused on raising up the next generation, no? That would address yung poverty situation sa kanilang mga communities. No? So I think I talk about sustainability. Yun na may magsusustain sa amin is when you raise up the nationals, the locals themselves, na sila na ang mag-a-address ng kanilang problema sa mga kababayan. Kasi they know the people, they know the language, they know the culture, and more than sa atin na mga tagalabas talaga.
Mas alam
nila.
Sila
talaga ang makakapag-address ng kanilang effectively at least.
Follow up ko lang po dyan kasi sabi nyo kanina, yung Oligase is based on yun nga parang naging belief ng mga tao that kung ang mga tao nag-aral, kakainin sila ng Oligase. Have you ever faced any challenge? I'm sure there's a lot, but can you share with us a particular challenge wherein kasi itinatayo natin edukasyon eh. So parang kinokontra nyo head-on yung hindi, mali yung Oligase, ito talaga yung tama.
Actually yun nga, no? Kaya nga na bini-brainwash ko yung mga sponsor dito na make sure hindi kayo makain ng Oligase, no? Kasi I was telling, no? Yung belief ng yung mga magulang pag nag-aral, hindi na babalik silang community. So we make sure lahat ng mga ina-offer namin courses would make the students, no, to go back to their communities. In fact, yung mga graduate namin has to serve us 3 years. So far, so good, no? Lahat ng mga pinag-graduate namin, kasi araw-araw ang bini-brainwash sila eh. Devotional. And make sure they go back to their own community. Kaya hindi kami nag-offer ng pang-abroad na mga na mga kurso, mag-nursing, no? Kasi actually yun ang isang na big picture ba, yun ang ating sa ating education system in the country kasi it's not really friendly to our culture, no? For example, I grew up with the notion na go home and plant kamote, for instance. What does that tell you, no? Nangangalabasa ka na naman, no? Actually, it's demeaning to the farmers, no? Kasi ang education I was a baby boomer, no? 1960 ako. In Rhyan, we were educated. Magaling ako sa English. In fact, I was grade 3 pa lang ako, nasa special class, no? Na we are only allowed to speak English. Pag hindi ka pag nag-Tagalog ka, you are penalized, no?
Yeah.
Only to know later on, kami pala ang gagawing mga OFW. Di ba? Oo, kasi tingnan mo, ang dollar earner natin ngayon, it's either OFW, yung mga heroes, or yung call centers. Dahil magaling tayo mag-English. What does it, ano nangyayari na pinapayaman natin ng ibang bansa except our own, no? No? Kaya yun din sabi yung oligasi. Marami sa atin nakain ng oligasi, no?
Without them knowing, no?
Without them knowing, no? Voluntarily.
I can feel your passion. As in, ramdam na ramdam ko through the screen ang passion ni Pastor Pio. And at this point, parang ang dami ko pang gusto kong itanong. Yun nga, nakailang scholar na kayo? Ilan pa yung gusto nating pag-aralin? And you know what? Paano namin matutulungan? I'm sure may mga viewers tayo na interested right now. How can we even support this?
Anyway, Ryan knows si Rudy Mande.
Yes.
Rudy Mande is our first scholar. Ay nanalo ng Bago Award, no? Kasi nag-aaral namin siya, hindi pa siya tapos. Nagtuturo na siya ng illiteracy dun sa kanilang mga katribuhan. Now, nakagraduate siya, nanalo siya ng isang prestigious award sa Davao City. Bago awardee, no? Dato Bago Award, no? Ngayon, nasa magiging counselor na siya ng city, no? And under him, he's paying back more than 85 scholars sa university under him, no? So we're seeing na yung impact nito later on. In fact, many of our churches nga, marami kaming church sa Kamating Salo ngayon, came out because of this, no? Yung scholarship program namin sa mga katribuhan. And yun ang aming I think talk about again sustainability. No? So yun. So I think we're addressing yung kaya sabi namin yung mga katribuhan talaga, yung the root of poverty issues nasa mga katribuhan no? Kaya we really need to preserve yung ating mga tribu kasi to preserve them is we preserve ourselves. Tayo talaga pinipreserve natin.
And Oligasi is one of the one. And Oligasi is one of the tool, no, para mapakita what's happening in the tribal area, di ba?
Yeah.
So what's more for Oligasi, Pastor Pio? What anong
we're hoping na kunin ng ng Department of Education ba. Kasi it's actually kailangan ma-improve natin yung education system. I don't know, kaya nga medyo namumroblema kami ngayon. Anong gagawin natin with the current na pinasarado lahat ng mga eskwelahan. Again, ang aming worry ngayon parang we will go back to zero again kasi lalo na ngayon sa mga walang online sa mga bundok. Ngayon marami kaming ginagawa ngayong intervention to tulungan yung mga bata in reading. Kasi marami mga 6th graders ngayon hindi pa rin nagbabasa. No? Masyadong masama ang quality.
Face-to-face pa rin po yun.
Well, bawal pero illegal yung ginagawa namin.
Hindi natin yun narinig. Kunwari
kasi sometimes naman you have to really
contextualize everything.
Yes.
Diba?
Oo kasi paano ka mag-online classes nga naman sa bundok kung wala kang internet? Mag-social distancing ka na lang. Gawin instead na 2 meters, gawin yung 5 meters apart.
Kasi malawak, di ba? Napakalawak na space.
Matagal lang.
Wonderful.
Socially distance ang mga tao dun sa bundok. Kaya
hanap po tayo ng paraan. Pastor Pio, I'm also very passionate about education and although wala ako ngayon sa Pilipinas, my heart is always with the Philippines and the people who you are serving. I think ang daming opportunity para suportahan yung ginagawa nyo. Kasi tama naman yung sinabi nyo the poverty can be solved if people continue to work. Hindi lang yung tipong parang ningas ko na sisimulan tapos na. But look at you've been serving them for what? 2 decades over? I think it says a lot. At see yung mga achievements na sinishare nyo, this is also something great. And I'd like to invite everyone who can support activities like this. Please do. Ang daming pwedeng gawin. And it's good to trust people who have this track record, this passion. Nakita nyo naman paano magsalita si Pastor Pio, di ba?
Actually, Oligasi is a message for everyone. Sa ating lahat. No? It's a demon that stalks us all. Kasi minsan mali yung ating connotation about yung success. No? O gusto mo mag-nurse dahil gusto mo kumita ng pera. It's all about money. No? So yung tama yung mga tribo natin no, kakainin tayo ng sistema. It's really a system that is eating us.
Yes. And as coming from someone who is outside of the Philippines, I can see this. Talagang kakainin ka ng sistema kung hindi mo babantayan yung puso mo. And then set your priorities straight. So, yes, Oligasi, wag tayong magpakain dito sa demon of fear na to. And that's a wonderful film. We are so excited. And maybe we can invite our viewers to watch your trailer and support
Paano
the
ba natin
film.
ma-access yung film, Pastor Pio?
Hindi pa na nire-release ng ano eh. Kilala naman ni
Paano nga
Nori
ba?
si yung sila
CBN, no?
CBN
Yeah.
Asia, no?
Hindi naman kami hihingi ng kopya para may suporta ka lang.
But humingi ng kopya sa kanila.
Oo nga. And just to add dun sa sinabi nga ni Elle, it's not even high time eh. We are already way out of time. Kasi nga for the longest time talaga, aminin natin sa hindi, for the longest time, pinabayaan naman talaga natin yung rural part ng Pilipinas. We have concentrated so much effort, energy, and money sa mga central areas, kung saan yung areas na maganda yung returns, malaki yung kikitain. And with those kind of mindset, kapitalismo kasi yun eh, di ba? Kapitalista eh. Hindi ako mag-i-invest dyan kasi baka wala ngang returns yan eh.
ROI, no?
Correct. So,
the same with the churches. Actually, yun ang problema namin kasi not many would involve sa mga tribal areas kasi it's so malaki ang investment eh. Turuan pa ang tao mag-toothbrush. Ganun ba?
Pero meron ngayon sa corporate world, meron tinatawag na ESG, na nag-i-invest sila dyan. It's beyond social responsibility.
Beyond CSR ba yan?
Beyond CSR siya. So environment, social, and governance. So they're starting to realize na, oo nga, kapitalista will not last long. Diba? This capitalism is not going to sustain the world. So ngayon, kailangan bumalik sila sa mga social issues, environment, and make sure that the society is running well. So marami pong pwedeng tulong, and let's talk about this some more.
But yung
kaguluhan, for instance, sa kaguluhan sa Mindanao, pag inuubo ang Mindanao, inalagnat yung buong bansa, di ba? And where are this battle being fought, di ba? Sa mga mountain areas. And in fact, yung mga Abu Sayyaf, mga ano man yan, Blaan tribes. Karamihan yan. Hindi ba mga Muslim yan, mga Blaan tribes yan ba? Mga Blaan.
Parang meron pa tayong part 2 and 3 na
why
naamoy ko,
not?
no?
Oo nga eh.
Dami pa natin gustong pag-usapan.
Meron pa meron pang pangayaw eh. Pag-uusapan pa natin yung next time. So,
oo nga.
So anyways, Pastor Pio, it has been a really, great conversation that we had. Kailan talaga naman, we are, as always, alam mo naman sa television, lagi tayong may time limit. And as much as we would like to talk more about your advocacy, about your ministry, about the tribal communities that you're serving. Yeah, it's we are one with you in prayer. That's one. Number two, siguro we can have a deeper conversation with Rhyan and Elle about partnering with your organization and Diag movement on how we can move forward together on this. And you may have some parting words. People you may want to be able to convert as a supporter sa inyo pong mga causes as a parting word, and encouragement also to other pastors or other people who would like to invest their time and effort and life in the tribal communities.
Well, I would really encourage na huwag kang kakainin ng oligase, no? Ibig sabihin, do not let fear eat you. Yan talaga ang prevailing spirit ngayon. So, takot, no? And the enemy wants us to be ignorant, no? Kaya, as much as you can, encourage yung social distancing, but encourage you otherwise to reach out dun sa yung mga minority groups natin, no? Yung mga katribuhan, especially kasi whatever happens to them, would happen to us, either good or bad. Kung magkaroon ng economic revival sa kanila, it would maapektuhan din tayo. Kung distraction, it would also affect us. So by saving them or helping them, we're actually helping ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Pio. Again, it's a pleasure having you, and thank you for being a part of Off the Line. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daghang salamat.
Thank you.
Wow, napakagandang conversation. Talaga namang walang maitatapon, no? Guys, doon sa conversation natin kay Pastor Pio. Sa totoo lang, ang hirap tapusin, no?
Oo.
Dapat nga may part 2, part 3.
Yes.
Dapat pag-usapan.
Correct. At saka, di ba nga, anong tawag dito? Yung off-cam yung conversation natin, halos hindi na natin matapos-tapos. So anyways, guys, that ends the episode for tonight. We are very certain, we are sure indeed, that, this episode is such an enjoyable one, and we can't wait to see you again next week.
This is Rhyan Casiño.
And this is Elle Quan, reminding everyone to dream again. Miracles still happen every day.
And this is Nori Uy saying stay safe and God bless.